Try not to pay attention to this recording while driving or while working hardware. Possibly listen when you can securely unwind. Furthermore, carry your full attention to your own total solace. I'm inviting you to this spellbinding meeting, which is intended to assist with presenting to you your own complete life achievement in only a couple of short minutes. This directed day's insight will permit you to turn out to be profoundly ingested into the functioning space of those astonishing conceivable outcomes where individual arrangements are so handily made and better approaches for living are frequently accomplished, and you may perceive this as the mesmerizing state, which is the mind-boggling component of your strong innovative psyche. Now, when you are prepared to move emphatically ahead into your best unwinding change, I would welcome you first to get comfortable and permit yourself to better loosen up, situating your body for your best solace with your arms and legs uncrossed, and afterward without any problem, making sure to simply tune in along to the hints of my voice presently. I'd like you to accept that you truly can prevail with entrancing, and just by taking this individual time for yourself here, there is that piece of you that is now planting the better seeds of your life's prosperity, and those old propensities, issues, deterrents, stresses, questions, or fears you may have recently held some place within you are as of now giving way and setting aside some more extensive space for your own achievement. So why not bring into your cognizant mindfulness as a significant number of those positive decisions that you would like to make for yourself as you close down your eyes. What's more, sign to both your cognizant and oblivious brain, yet the strong work is currently prepared to start. Reply with your eyes shutting down. I would urge you to truly start now by taking in a couple increasingly slow breaths. Furthermore, as you do, and you might limit your mindfulness somewhat more by becoming mindful of the ascent and fall of your chest, permitting every breath to turn into a bit more profound and somewhat more loose. Furthermore, notice the vibe and the glow of that air as it goes down through your nose and your mouth, down through your throat and more profound into your lungs. Seeing how the breath normally extends your lower reaper enclosure, and afterward that breath just normally permits your belly to rise and to fall delicately and tranquilly until your breath settles itself into a loosened up musicality all of its own, essentially partaking in these more profound inward breaths, also delivering with those more slow Exhalations now perhaps the least demanding way to move into a more profound condition of entrancing is to permit yourself to turn out to be more and more assimilated into the idea of your own interior experience, giving yourself this all-out authorization presently to truly partake in the all-out solace of going progressively deep into your own loosening up nightfall state, in every case securely, also safely, one little stride ahead at a time, as you are understanding on some more profound level now. Right now is truly your time, your snapshots of chance, here to find this simpler karma space inside, seeing the entirety of the calm and those more unobtrusive movements that make it satisfying balance that is creating within your own being presently. And this spot is likewise a spot where contemplations might come, and then, at that point, go. Similarly, as your consciousness of feelings may come and afterward go, becoming mindful of how currently becomes Lin. What's more, what was then can change and create into what is more present now, as your mindfulness itself changes from second to second and creates over the long run, as every one of these minutes proceeds to loosen up you and convey you more profound still music. Presently it can feel so great to simply stay here for a brief period as your more profound self accepts the tranquility that permits your feeling of amazing quietness. What's more, soon enough from now you might start to try and consider how much better it would indeed even feel to envision yourself drifting furthermore, floating somewhat farther along your inward pathways. Presently you might envision yourself saying certain things as your oblivious brain steers your head, that multitude of parts of your inventive self might jump at the chance to hear some superb, satisfying and mitigating sounds. Or then again, once in a while it is the feeling of dread toward warmth or smoothness of shivering vibrations or delicate influxes of unwinding. However you can appreciate, realizing that those different sensors inside you are basically delivering and loosening up each and every piece of you. What's more, you might even prefer to realize that inside your experience you can decide to allow my voice to turn into your own interior voice, since it truly doesn't make any difference which of your faculties can charm you the most, in light of the fact that you in all actuality do realize you have a cognizant psyche, similarly as you probably are aware you have an oblivious brain, and the two pieces of you as of now function admirably so, ordinarily and effectively, continually working together in a sort of peaceful amicability as you become quite a lot more quiet so easily. Say inside envisioning and imagining yourself floating increasingly down and down, drifting and diving similarly as though you're an enormous plume taking off in the breeze. Furthermore, now landing and coming to rest there in that spot of outright complete rest as you take of what it could resemble to partake in this rest, totally realizing that you can unwind. Also envision yourself loosening up upon a couple of delicate regular green grass. What's more, as you envision for yourself loosening up there on that grass, you might start to dream in these open fields of your more extensive expected dreams of a world or your own prosperity is currently unavoidable. Since you are starting to feel and examine upon those conceivable outcomes that come with such ease to you, here under an obscure leaves of a delightful and enormous disregarding tree, and you might be agreeably astounded as you turn upward under this tree to see its many green leaves, every one a marginally diverse shade of green, and you find yourself detecting this tree's in a soul, as though it was grinning there down upon you. Since this plate is plate, your plate of boundless security and probability, that is your very own image, limitless development. So notice now how your tree of development searches for yourself, and even how does your tree sound. What's more, how can it feel to be unwinding under her own self's more shrewd and adoring security? Would you be able to see the light of an evening sun framing with radiates in the middle of every one of those green leaves? Would you be able to feel the coolness of the shade from the hottest on light as you sink a minimal further down into the agreeable grass? Gracious, would you be able to hear the delicate voice of the tree as a delicate recognition comes into stir those leaves in the fresher breeze? Simply realizing that this spot is your spot of wonderful inner well-being and outright harmony, a spot where you can so effectively return any time that you pick. Simply grinning to yourself as you appreciate how your strong, wonderful tree with such ease twists its solid branches with those showing up breezes, and afterward individually you can hear and see a tree just how about we go of so many of its more established leaves, those more seasoned leaves that it don't really needs, and afterward you watch as those more seasoned leaves float away to be conveyed into the distance by that expensive wind, and afterward nearly without a moment's delay you can see now that the tree replaces those more established Leaves with spick and span and new sound. Green leaves. As your plate of limitless development is fit for recharging itself in all of these ways with its own fundamental assets. What's more, its own normal energy on the grounds that your plate is continually becoming more grounded and more grounded in itself with such ease, stimulated just by the dash of the earth. Furthermore, the warm light of the sun and something within you gets that. Each new season brings to your tree that superb feeling of achievement, the achievement of new development to such an extent that your old tree once it has without any problem disposed of its old leaves and even its old external bark skin. It simply regrows itself over and over, but then all the time you can in any case hear the strong voice of your tree squeaking and influencing with an encouraging low and alleviating melody that gives such a pleasure into your heart as you pay attention to the breezes stirring those leaves. But then the tree generally remains presently as you keep on feeling so great. Unwinding significantly more, I'd like you to take a somewhat unique excursion now, a venture much further into the more profound passages of your own strong subliminal assets, and you can do this as effectively as envisioning any way you will. Another path opening up some place only in front of you, so figure it out presently that when you settle on this decision to go, an extraordinary sort of entryway just opens up under the grounds of your antiquated tree, something very much like a shining opening or an entryway into an even seriously retaining and quiet world. Furthermore, now you are plummeting within your tree itself as you track down yourself, venturing down a brilliant roundabout flight of stairs that spans so profoundly within the huge trunk of your awesome antiquated tree. Further and further down, you're going further down still, generally unwinding and delivering considerably more as you go, detecting yourself going down so many of these inviting steps. But there is something so recognizable with regards to this stay away until at last you come to a long and extending lobby which loosens up under the ground here so exceptionally far in front of you, also with a straightforward idea your own mind illuminates the dividers of this corridor. Maybe you could envision a progression of gas lights or flame lights or lights simply consuming along those dividers that line this passage, and you can feel the consoling blazes of that enlightening light, the light that lights your direction securely and safely. Now you realize you are really in the most unimaginable paths of your oblivious self in light of the fact that each viewpoint, furthermore nature of your own one-of-a-kind character, is currently becoming more clear and more clear to you. A more profound voice within you is inspiring you. A more profound voice within you is calling you as you feel so constrained to step advances and investigate these mysteries stowed away rooms of your own oblivious, and as you do you see a progression of entryways heading out to your left and on your right side, and you notice that every entryway is as extraordinary and novel and as distinctive as each piece of your own character. Also, a portion of the entryways are you.